C-123, built by Fairchild Aircraft in the early 50s, 1952 to 1954. This is the one survivor of the 307 that were built. It's the only flying one in the United States, and we think in the world. Thunderpig was a nickname that was used by the Pittsburgh Reserve Unit when they had the airplane because it's noisy and messy. On the front bulkhead, there's a sign that says, "We're not leaking oil, we're just marking our territory." The original design is the largest assault glider ever designed and built in the US. It was called the XC-20. They built a few of them, and then after they did all that, the Air Force said, "We really don't want assault gliders. We want tactical transports." So they went through and they modified the airplane. They turned it into an airplane. They had to add crew positions, of course. They had to add like flight engineers and navigators and a loadmaster for the back. The C-123 was used in Vietnam. When it got to Vietnam, they said, you know, we need more power on this airplane. So they added jet engines at the time. They modified the jet engines to run off of aviation gas, and it became C-123Ks. And to my knowledge, all of the 123s were modified to be K models. The C-130 is bigger, can carry more, and go faster. So even though Fairchild built 300 of these and tried very hard to sell modifications of the airplane to the military, because of the Air Force focusing on 130s, most of them went into the reserves. They stayed in the reserves up until 1981, and then at that stage, the Air Force said, we don't want these airplanes anymore. So the ones that were left went to the boneyard, and then they either were sold in some cases to other countries, or in this case was sold to the collector, David Talish. The people that restored it pretty much exactly as it was back in the 60s and 70s. It certainly is as I remember flying it in the reserves. So when you walk on the airplane, it is a piece of history. You're really literally walking back into the way the plane was. As we tell people that get on the airplane, state of the art for 1954. We have Air Force pilots get on the airplane and say, I've never seen anything like this because the technology has changed so much. You know, that they don't know what all those gauges are. It can be a handful because of the size of it and being straight mechanical connections without any hydraulic assist. It's a big tail on it, short fuselage, so it's not all that stable. It really takes perfectly stable winds for it to be relatively smooth. If it's gusty in any way or variable in any way, the plane is constantly humming, so you're constantly flying it. We get people on the airplane and you can almost tell as they're walking up to the airplane whether they were in Vietnam and whether they were on this airplane in any way, because you can just see it in their eyes, all the memories flooding back. Well, you just start to hear stories that probably people haven't heard in 20 and 30 years about I did this or I rode from here to there. I mean, it just sort of opens up, you know, with a lot of stories. And that's really a good feeling for us to really be able to, you know, to have them on board the airplane.